Hello everybody and welcome back to the Chassis Chariot series, or the Chariot Chassis series, or the name that I always get wrong every time for my video series. We're back, and this time we're with the sister, the upgrade, the cousin, the mutant inbreed son of the Charger. We have the Hatamoto-Chi. This was, again, an 80-tonner. It's obviously developed by the Draconis Combine, hence the name. Back when FASA started giving some of the houses that had more of a different cultural theme their own kind of named mechs. So it was like things like Laos started getting things like the Duangung and Menchen and stuff like that. The Chinese sort of themed named mechs, and obviously the Kuritans later on we get things like this, the Akuma and those kind of things. So the Hatamoto-Chi is definitely one of the coolest looking mechs ever developed for BattleTech. Unfortunately, I thought the redesign for this gave it kind of a... For me, I know it's supposed to look like a skull from the torso section down, but it looks like a doggo. It looks like a doggo face. His little happy mouth open. You know, you can imagine that tongue sticking out. But anyway, that aside, it's a good mech. Always like the Hatamoto. It's a very simple fire support model. Along similar-ish lines to the Thug and the Awesome in the sense that its primary weaponry is PPCs with very limited backup weaponry. This is the 27V version, also known as the Kaze. This model replaces the SRMs with LRMs, which, again, on the tabletop, this would make this version of the Hatamoto quite effective. Low heat with its secondary weapons means that it can engage targets at long range, peppering them with fire until it gets into line of sight, and then it can start hitting them with its dual PPCs. As I said, the Hatamoto is a no-nonsense mech, really. There's not too much that makes it stand out. It's a no-frills design, but it does its job well. This essentially turns the thing into a fire support and siege platform. Plenty of ammunition are in there, including a pretty generous amount of armor by default. Obviously, MechWarrior line, it's neither here nor there. Whether we'll see this in MechWarrior 5, I don't know. I'd like for them to have kept the Hatamoto. I assume they will. It might be one of the mechs I add at some point as a lance, part of the lance, I don't know, in the far-flung future. But yeah, the Hatamoto-Chi Kaze, I don't know. I don't know if it really lives up to its strengths in MWO. Dual LRM5s, it's one of those missile systems, obviously, when you encounter it, or when the LRM5 builds used to be popular, it was usually on mechs like Stalkers and any kind of heavies like catapults and stuff that could mount multiple LRM5s because you could hold the button down and just spam fire, you know, the recycle time of each individual launcher, so you could go through numerous LRM5s one after the other in a very short space of time. Obviously, two of them, yeah, isn't that effective, essentially an LRM-10. The one thing I have found that's useful for single LRM-5 launchers and dual LRM-5s usually is to chew through a person's AMS ammo, or to highlight the location of an enemy mech that's not currently on radar, so an ECM unit that has AMS. And when you fire it, you hope that the rest of the team will notice that the missiles are being shot from an oblique angle, and you know that all of a sudden, oh yeah, there's some down there, or there's like a sneaky bastard over here. So it does have that use, but it's better obviously on comms when that happens. Obviously, I record these in sort of quick play solo, because that's usually the fastest way of making any kind of any matches. You try and get to a two-man for some reason, it takes forever to find a match. It's really frustrating. So yeah, doesn't work too well in that regard, but it's still effective. Obviously, its biggest drawback, this build, minimum range. Obviously, that can be completely negated by the fact that you just put in ERPPCs and don't have to worry about that. But as the default build goes, yeah, it does have its limitations, of course. Minimum range being one of its biggest problems. Again, you know, it's not that big a problem, because anything that does decide to get point blank with a Hatamoto does, you know, have to look forward to those metal punching domes, fists, the basically battering rams on the arms, because I think the one arm is this sort of slamming arm for hand-to-hand combat, while the other one is an actual actuated hand. So yeah, it's a lot of the things in BattleTech. It's like there isn't really a drawback, because it's all right, because if someone gets too close, you can kick it. But again, MWOs don't know sort of up close personal combat. Same with Living Legends, really. It'd be nice if both games had that, but it's not really an option. So yeah, I don't know if I like this one so much. And trust me, that it wasn't like there was a shortage of variants. It's just unfortunately most of them use tech that isn't in the game, or there's a configuration that I couldn't build. Again, it's a shame because I wanted to do more Hatamoto-Chi variants, but unfortunately, yeah, it's a bit thin on the ground when it comes to certain systems. Like there's a V2 of this, but it uses MML7s. And if you don't know what an MML system is, it's a multiple missile launcher, which is basically an Innisphere version of the Clan ATM system. So yeah, they didn't add those because I think they're like late 3060s, early 3070s tech. There's a few things that never get used. Oh yeah, this right, yeah. So I thought I was gonna die at this point. I was getting rinsed. I was talking about the minimum range. Well, here it is. Just getting absolutely rinsed by a piranha. I think there's not really much I could do about it. Again, you know, this is one of the reasons why light mechs in BattleTech. I was a pro, so it was a 5-star. One of the reasons why light mechs in BattleTech generally don't get that close to bigger mechs is because if they did, the bigger mech kicks it and its leg falls off, you know, something along those lines. Because you definitely don't want to get that close and take a good whomping from a big docking heavy or an assault. But yeah, I think it's one of the biggest drawbacks and the strengths of light mechs in this game is that they can do this, and it makes it very difficult for certain mechs, you know, the cockpit alignment and that, to actually hit them properly. Combined with some iffy issues when firing at them, and the locations that you think you hit it doesn't hit, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that's that round. The 27V, it's okay. I can understand why PGI didn't add it as a default version. Yeah, definitely get why. So, I mean, unless they just massively whacked up the number of missile hardpoints that had it, it wouldn't have been really viable. So yeah, but yeah, that's that round. As you see, damage isn't fantastic for it. 2 Iron 5's PPC is not great, but yeah, that's that one. That's the Kaze. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.